You're listening to an archived Cabral Concept podcast. After listening to this show, check out the most up-to-date podcasts available at stephencabral.com/podcasts or search directly on iTunes. And now, welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Thank you so much for joining me once again on our weekend Cabral HouseCalls. Looking forward to answering our community's questions. We're going to go over some really questions submitted from all over the world, which is always exciting for me to see them come in. Literally, whether it's Australia, all over Europe, the US, we've got a couple from that I saw where they came in from South America. So exciting today, really. I'm glad that I'm able to reach out to so many people around the world and hopefully provide them with a little bit of insight on where to start, how to get started, what to look for, what they might be missing, and truly get themselves back onto the path to either losing the weight, to getting healthy, to increasing the energy, and living an overall more vitality-based life. All right, so let's get right into it. Today is episode 778. So for all show notes today, that means all of the different labs I might talk about, or nutritional supplements, or gadgets and technology, or whatever it might be, go to stephencabral.com/778. Everything will be linked up there today. So let's get started. The first question coming in, I saw a lot of these, is from Anonymous. All right. This Anonymous is asking, "Hi, Dr. Cabral. Thank you so much for continuing to produce such helpful information and insight to healing and optimizing health. I listen to your podcast daily and have shared various episodes with family members who believe would benefit. My question is about GI health. I've been working with a naturopathic doctor to heal my gut inflammation that I began experiencing around Christmas. In addition, I've been using diet and supplementation to address improved gut motility to eliminate constipation and now have improved bowel regularity and volume. This week, I had an ultrasound with my OB to rule out concerns with pelvic pain. While the ultrasound was negative for gynocological concerns, the tech reported that the imaging process was made more difficult due to an overabundance of stool. I'm confused about why I am otherwise not feeling constipated and having productive bowel movements. Is it possible that my gut motility is adequate, but I'm somehow not emptying bowels completely or have a buildup in my large intestine? Most every bowel movement feels complete. I look forward to your response and appreciate your time." Okay, so yeah, one thing on this, let's answer that for sure, is that there might be really nothing wrong with you in terms of your gut. So we want to just look at a couple things in terms of your pelvic pain, meaning that it's possible you have increased tightness in certain muscles, such as your iliopsoas or your TFL muscles. Okay, those are very, very common and can cause some pelvic-based pain. Now, if it's more internal pelvic pain, okay, we can look at that. And I could also say it may be more inflammatory-based in terms of the gut issues that you're dealing with. Maybe it's parasite, maybe it's candida, maybe it's bacteria. Also, when they found what looked like an overabundance of stool, I would also ask, what part of the large intestine are we talking about? Or are we not talking about the large intestine? We're talking about the small intestine. Because if we're talking about the large intestine, what we have to keep in mind is that you don't get a full emptying of your large intestine every time you have a bowel movement. Your large intestine is 5 to 6 feet long. I mean, can you imagine emptying the entire colon into the toilet? That would not be a good thing. And the other thing is, the food isn't fully formed into stool until it moves at least halfway down the transverse colon. That's about kind of right above your belly button, all the way down across your left side and down your left side into the anus itself. So let's keep in mind that the tech, maybe they were just seeing that you had a full bowel, maybe had a bowel movement, or maybe your colon itself, where the ultrasound or whatever was done, was going over a place with more stool. Now, if we're talking about just the left side, if we're just talking about the left side of your body, maybe that should have been emptied. So hard for me to say. Here's the thing. How do you know if you're having a complete bowel movement? Well, one, you actually feel the completed sensation of having a bowel movement. The second is that the bowel movement is fully formed and that it's not just a thin pencil-like stool. A lot of people have thin pencil-like stools. They're having a bowel movement. They might even have 2 or 3 per day, but that's actually considered a form of constipation. And that's because you're not literally removing all of the stool, all of the feces from the bowel itself, meaning that it's still stuck on the sides of the bowel. So as you squeeze, just that middle part of that stool is pushing through. So really important to look at that. If you're doing a digestive protocol, it looks like you are. One thing you may want to look at, talk with your naturopath about, is actually doing an intestinal cleanse. Just once. They last about 5 days. We have one called the intestinal cleanse. I will link that up. We're going to be switching ours in probably about 2 months. But the one we're using right now is fantastic, and you could use it for the rest of your life, and it would still be great then too. If we ever upgrade our products, it's not because we don't like the previous ones. One, the previous product may be being discontinued. That's always a possibility. Or we found one that's more cost effective for you with the same great products, or we found one with even better synergies, even better products. And that happens all the time. So that's why kind of always stay tuned. I'll always give you my updates. But check out that intestinal cleanse. It seems like overall you're doing pretty well. And I'm not sure that I would let one small report with literally all negatives and the specific tech tell you that you have an overabundance of stool, because that's kind of a gray area to me. It seems like you're doing well. I don't know if I would really get too worried about this. If you were, well, then you can always look into more deeper tests. Okay, so check that out. Michael's up next. Michael's asking, I enjoy your podcast very much. Found out about you from Food Heals Nation podcast. I live in Ann Arbor, Michigan, and so far could not find an infrared detox. Based on your recommendations, before I buy anything, I'd like to try it with medical supervision. Can you suggest some suggestions? Okay, so here's the thing, Michael. Very few saunas or infrared saunas are going to come with medical supervision. And one of the reasons I say this, of course, you should always do what you feel is right, but there's not too much to worry about with an infrared sauna. Now, let me add a couple caveats to that. Children should not be using it. Pregnant women should not be using it. Nursing women or men with any type of plastic, saline, anything like that, implants may not be a good idea. Anybody with kidney issues and anyone with high blood pressure. Now, it will help with blood pressure in the long term, but just being careful of how long you go in. So look at those contraindications. For everyone else, it's pretty much fine as long as you get out before you start to feel uncomfortable, or as you're feeling uncomfortable, before your heart rate starts to increase. If you get lightheaded, dizzy, you just literally walk out. That's it. And so for most part, start with 10, 15, 20 minutes and just work your way up from there. And also, you can start at a lower temperature. Most infrared saunas are somewhere between 120 to 150 degrees Fahrenheit. And of course, they can get hotter from there. But the point of an infrared sauna is to stay in for 20 or 30 or more minutes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to link up the 4 infrared saunas at all different price ranges that I recommend. And they're all great. They really are. I mean, infrared is, for the most part, you can do far, you can do near, and you can do mid. I've done podcast shows on the different benefits of each, but a lot of people are really enjoying the lower cost Therasage infrared sauna. That's portable. You can put it anywhere in your house. It's tiny. You can move it whenever you want. It's not a big box. I do like the big box ones. I like the wooden ones. I really do. I think they're phenomenal. I have both, and just 2 different reasons. My one at home is the Therasage. The one at work is the larger box space one. So both great, and hopefully that helps Michael. All right, Jessica's up next. She's writing, I heard Dr. Cabral on Melissa Ambrosini's podcast. Dr. Cabral was inspiring to say the least. I'll get right to the point. My father-in-law has recently been diagnosed with ALS. Is this something you can help with at your clinic? We have confirmation from the neurologist, and we just have to see a naturopath, and she is running some tests, to name a few. Hair tissue mineral analysis, magnesium serum, zinc status. From the podcast, it seemed like the only person who could help. The MD doctors here just gave the diagnosis and said, go write your bucket list and live your best life for the next 2 to 5 years. WTF. After some research, I have come to realize ALS is not some mystery disease, but all like diseases, just the body telling us that there are toxic things in there affecting our system. We are in Australia, willing to travel. Can you help lead us in the right direction? Jess. All right, Jess. So first of all, I want to apologize for medicine in general. No one should ever give you a diagnosis like that and just say, well, that's it. You get 2 to 5 years. I mean, that's so insensitive. And again, not all doctors are like this, but conventional medicine as a whole, just not the people, but itself can be very sterile and very cruel. And I just think that we have to understand that. I love the older term as doctor as teacher. I really like that. So think of yourself more as a teacher. How can you help people? And then I love the word client instead of patient. patient is like, okay, take your number. You're up next on the assembly line. But client to me means that you're in the care of someone. A client is in the care of you. That's where that root goes back to as well. So it's kind of like you're in the care of your teacher. You're in the care of your mentor, whatever it might be. And what I would say is this. There are a lot of great naturopaths in Australia. So if you're able to find a local functional medicine doctor that also does detoxification, Ayurvedic medicine, some of these more healing modalities, more of the Eastern-based modalities, I think that would be great. You also, if you'd like to work with us, of course, we're willing to help you. We work with many, many people all over the world, literally all over the world. You name it, Middle East, Europe, Australia, South America, even Canada. Just kidding. So really all over the world. And you don't have to travel to us. We do it by Skype. And so literally we just get on the phone. I was on the phone on Skype literally earlier today. It was 7:30 a.m. their time in Australia. And I believe, what time was it? I can't even think right now. It was somewhere around 4 p.m. in the US in Boston. Okay, yes. So anyway, we're willing to help. And of course, we'd be willing to help with ALS. What I want you to do is I want you to look into detoxification. I want you to look into heavy metals. I want you to look into gut permeability. And I want you to look into dysregulated immunity, meaning like the immune system attacking certain parts of the nervous system and the myelin sheath as well. So those are just a few of the things to look into. But honestly, you keep looking into it. It looks like you've already really started that. I know that you're going to be well on your way. And so I wish you much luck and best success. Bruno's up next. Hi, Dr. Cabral. Huge fan from Europe. I would love to do the food sensitivity test, but saw you don't ship to my country. Any recommendation on tests to do here? Can't seem to find anything similar. Cheers, Bruno. Okay. So yes, right now we only ship to the UK, California, and Australia for right now. We will be shipping to Europe, including 22 countries by the end of 2018. So one is you could wait, or two, you could see if there's a functional medicine or integrative doctor in your country, wherever you are in Europe, that would be able to run. We do an IgG food sensitivity test that you can do right at home. And when you order it from us, you get a 30-minute health coaching call with one of my health coaches. And I personally review every lab that's ordered from StephenCabral.com and soon to be our new store at Equilibrium Nutrition. We're going to get a brand new website, which I'm so excited about in about a month, end of April. Really excited about that because, I'll tell you, StephenCabral.com has been around forever, that website. And it's always been a content-based site. I've always put up articles and videos and all sorts of things. And then people said, well, we want to do the same things that you do in your practice, but we're in Canada, we're in the UK, or we're in California, or Georgia, or wherever it might be. And so I said, okay, well, we'll put up a few of those things so people can buy. And they can get the same results as people in Boston. Why not being able to help people all over the world with the same exact thing? And then all of a sudden, more people kept coming. And then we did the podcast and then things just exploded. So it's kind of like step by step. I honestly wish that we had someone that came in and said, we would love to take care of all this for you. And we're going to do this, this, and this. We're going to set up. So it's just one step at a time. It's obviously, it can be a little overwhelming at times because I'm also trying to run a practice, right? Multiple practices. Do my podcast, write my book, launch that. So there's a lot going on, but I can tell you this is that every month we have a new project. Like every month my team knows like, okay, this is the next thing that we're going to roll out. This is the next thing. And so our goal is to really fully integrate that with a new website, then reach more countries and then put out more lab availability for people, as well as like all the nutritional supplements. So we're really excited about that, one step at a time. It's kind of one of those things I talk about on Mindset and Motivation Monday, that it's a journey, and I'm on this journey as well. Maybe not a health journey anymore, although I work every single day of my life still to have very good health. But my journey too is now I got my body well. And what did I say? When I got my body well, I would share how I did that, and I would share this mission with the world. And now that's what I'm doing. So my journey might be a little different than yours, and that's my goal. Change your body, change your life, right? So first I changed my body, and now my life is different. My life is one that I've always wanted it to be about, which is basically living my purpose and trying to serve the best I can. And that makes me feel fulfilled. So even though I believe I'm helping others, I'm actually helping myself. I feel fulfilled. I feel like I'm doing what I'm supposed to with my life. So it all comes around. But again, I'm on my own journey as well with trying to get this message out to the world. And it's all a matter of hours in the day and team and all of those things. We have a great team, but we can only grow so fast and try to provide a really good customer service. Okay. Katie's up next. Katie's saying, thank you for sharing your knowledge with us. Since learning about your podcast, I feel I finally have the information I can trust for my daily questions about health and wellness. I credit my current quality of life to you because I now know dairy, gluten, and egg are sensitivities for me, and taking those foods out has helped me more than I could ever have enjoyed those foods. Truly life-changing. My question is about Juice Plus. I've been taking the Orchard and Vineyard Blend capsules for a little over a year, and because last year was the best year, I'm scared to stop taking them, but would really like to know what you think. I stopped taking their complete shake because it contains pumpkin, one of my other food sensitivities, and switched to the Equilibrium Nutrition Daily Support Shake. I now take my fruit and veggie juice capsules in the morning with my lime water, and with the hope that they are comparable with the juice powder you talked about all the time. Can't wait to hear what you think. Sure appreciate your thoughts and expertise. Katie, thank you so much. Appreciate all of these kind words as well. It means so much to me. I really do enjoy reading them. It makes me feel good. It makes me feel good about what I do. And that's one of those human emotions that you never get tired of, right? It's really, really grateful to see that. So here's the thing. I took Juice Plus myself 15 years ago. I'm trying to think right now because I can give you the exact time. It was around 2005. Yeah, 13 years ago. Okay. So back then it was 75% organic. I'm not sure if it's all organic now. A lot of good studies behind it. No problem at all. So you might say like, well, why don't you promote that instead of your daily fruit and vegetable blend? Well, my daily fruit and vegetable blend is 100% organic, and it's 6 grams of dehydrated fruit and vegetables with no inulin, no fillers, no GMO, no anything bad. It's the purest thing out there that you can get. And you can see it, how deep it is. And it's fruits and vegetables as well. Just keep that in mind. So here's the thing. I never push anything on anybody. Do the test yourself. Take your fruit and vegetable blend from your Juice Plus. Put it onto a tablespoon. See how much it fills up. Then stir it in a glass of water. Stir 1 tablespoon of my daily fruit and vegetable blend by Equilibrium Nutrition, which is the company that I formulate for. I'm the founder of that. I formulate for it. I don't run the business part of it, but I formulate, I create that product. I create all the Equilibrium Nutrition ones. Those are the formulas that I choose. So take a look at the color difference. I think you'll notice the purity. I think you'll notice how it mixes with water so much easier, which means it's going to be easier for digestion. And just one other thing, just in all fairness, one of the reasons why we don't do capsules yet for our fruit and vegetable blend is because you would never be able to fit all the 1 tablespoon of the daily fruit and vegetable blend in 4 capsules, which is what the Juice Plus is. So you can't get the same dosage. It's not humanly possible. And our daily fruit and vegetable blend is, I believe, the same exact price. It's somewhere around $1.50 to $2 a day for 22 organic fruits and vegetables that has been juiced. One of the best deals out there. I honestly believe the Dr. Cabral Daily Protocol, which is what I do every day, and it's the maintenance plan for most of the people in my private wellness practice, which is the daily nutritional support shake, all the vitamins, minerals, vegan protein, antioxidants, liver detox, all that on a daily basis. And then the daily fruit and vegetable blend 22 organic fruits and vegetables. And then the daily probiotic support, 2 capsules a day, 50 billion live probiotic, dairy-free, amazing formulations, all of that for under $5 a day to get every vitamin, mineral, antioxidant you need. I don't know. I just think it's the best deal out there and the best thing you can do for your body. Hopefully that helps. I certainly don't think you're doing a bad deal. I mean, it sounds like you're doing a great job, Katie. And I'm not trying to convince you to switch. If you like what you're doing and you're getting great results, now you can try to upgrade. So you can try to just, remember, you can try to do it if you want, and then just go back to the Juice Plus if you really enjoy that much more. But it's completely up to you. I'm not talking negatively about it. Great product. Keep on using it if you'd like. All right. Jeff's up next. Jeff's writing in, hi, Dr. Cabral. I'm writing on behalf of my wife, Amanda. She has currently been nursing our daughter for 6 months. She's gotten several clogged ducts, which resulted in mastitis at least 3 times. She's been prescribed Keflex for the infection each time, but we are not crazy about the idea of taking many rounds of antibiotics. She would like to stop breastfeeding, seeing as she's back to work and has had several complications with going several hours without nursing or pumping. Unfortunately, the typical advice is skip feedings and pump less, but she seems to have an oversupply, and that method just results in more clogged ducts. She has tried several natural remedies, cabbage leaves, sage, peppermint leaves. We are now worried it may be an issue with her prolactin levels. Her OB today suggested a prolactin inhibitor. She has reduced the number of pumping feeding sessions, but her milk supply remains the same. If you have any tips or advice, we would greatly appreciate it. We are huge fans of the podcast, and your advice is rapidly changing our nutrition and exercise habits. Thank you for everything you do. Thank you, Jeff, and let's get your answer. Okay, so I'm going to give you a couple things that essentially I learned along the way with my wife, who did actually get mastitis one time with our second daughter. So mastitis seems like you maybe have under control, but just one thing that we did with my wife when she got mastitis is a heat pack on top of cabbage leaves. That worked phenomenally well. So just want to make sure that most women out there know about that. It worked really, really well for decongesting the tissue. So real important. And then also continuing to breastfeed while you have mastitis to just make sure that you're keeping the milk moving. Now, what I'd like to say is it seems like you're trying to cut down on milk supply. Just a couple things that I know of that I would like to share with you. You might already know about these already. Well, one thing is to make sure, or just doing your best, that your child, looks like they're 6 months. What you might want to do, and again, this obviously is totally personal and you have to do what you feel is best for you. But if a child is sleeping in the same room as the mother, it can increase milk supply. So one of the things is when the child's no longer nursing at night, no longer in the same room, the milk supply can start to dwindle a little bit, which is apparently what you're looking for. The other thing as well is to make sure your wife is, now it seems like you're trying to cut down on pumping, which is fine, but you want to get a full emptying also while she pumps. So a lot of women, they might not really pump all the way to completion. So I think that's important as well. So those are three things now that I could just, recommend to you that seem to work pretty well, since you've already talked about the cabbage, the sage teas, those types of things. That might not be the answer you're looking for, but I do hope that some of that helps. And thank you, Jeff, for writing in, especially for your wife. All right, let's do one more question today. It's from Chris. Chris is saying, hello, I'm inquiring about the approximate wait time for acceptance to the private concierge consulting. For a new client, I'm writing on behalf of my brother who is overweight. He has back problems, so severe now he walks with a cane at 49. We are desperate to help him before he falls to become so debilitated he has to be in a wheelchair. Thank you, Chris. All right, Chris, thanks for writing in. Just real quick, the approximate wait time to work with me is about 6 to 8 weeks. However, you can work with one of my top health coaches. Literally, you'll see them chatting all the time in our cabralsupportgroup.com, our free Facebook group. And it would be great to work with them. That's Laura, that's Caitlin, that's Julia. They're so amazing. Really, really great. And the other thing is you could actually just run a lab. You could run the weight loss test. Why don't I link that up today for you, Chris? Because if you run the weight loss test, you get a complimentary phone consultation with that. And I also review that too. So I'm going to give you a little bit more advice today, all right? Because I know that you just asked about becoming a concierge client, but here's the deal. I think that you could, and again, if your brother's interested, of course we would love to work with them. There's no problem there at all. Of course we would love to work with them. But what you could do, and if you want to, it's more cost effective, you can get right into the lab, is order the weight loss lab test. Now you can order other labs as well, but definitely the weight loss lab test, okay? That's going to go through thyroid adrenal hormone. It's the same thing as the thyroid adrenal hormone test. That's going to give you indicators for why someone might be gaining weight. It's only one lab. You can run more, but that's one. And my other recommendation is at the same time as ordering that, order the 21-day Dr. Cabral detox. Your brother, if he follows that, will lose at least 10 to 15 pounds, I'm sure of it, in 21 days. Okay. So if we do that and then we get him on the morning smoothies, just get him listening to the podcast, have him then just follow up with even if you don't want to do the whole Dr. Ball daily protocol, no big deal. Just make him a smoothie every morning after he comes off the detox. Every morning, liquid before lunch. Show him the podcast on the liquid and fat flush breakfast that I did. If everyone hasn't checked out that show, go to the liquid and fat flush breakfast. It was only a couple Wednesdays ago. Let me see if I can find it specifically for everyone. I really enjoyed that show because people ask me, why do I do this? Why do I do this? Well, here's why. Like in the beginning, I didn't know why I felt so great doing a smoothie every morning. But then I look in the research, I figure it out, I learned more from Ayurveda, and now we know. So that was episode 761. So 21-day detox, weight loss test, follow up with the fat flush breakfast. I think your brother's going to be doing great. I know that we can help him, and hopefully we can just get a jump start on this as well. All right, that was episode 761. We'll leave off with that for today. I'm excited to answer tomorrow's questions, which I just see right here in front of me because my team does such a great job at compiling all of these. And it looks like we have Jessica coming up tomorrow. We've got Elizabeth. We've got Donna. We've got a bunch more questions. So be sure to tune in then. Thank you so much for tuning in today. And I hope you're enjoying your weekend. Take care. Ever wonder what the best sauna, blue blockers, sleep trackers, wake lights, salt lamps, or other health gadgets are? Or what about the top non-toxic mattresses, sheets, soaps, bath products, toothpaste, and cookware? Or would you like to know the cleanest choices for hemp parts, meal delivery services, supplements, and much more? I personally curated, researched, and now created a resource page of all of my top picks that continues to grow each week. These are the exact products I use in my own life, with my family, in my private practice, and they're the ones I trust. To find out all of my up-to-date recommendations and all the details, simply head on over to stephencabral.com/resources.